Welcome back to In the Huddle. I'm your host Xavier, and this is Ben and John. We're here to give you your fantasy news and updates for the week.
This week is rival week on the Huddle. Me and Ben are playing each other, and it's going to be a battle. You looking forward to it?
Yeah, I feel like I have the upper hand on this one.
Oh, of course you do.
You haven't updated your starters yet, but
well, yeah.
ESPN's definitely looking my way to win this one.
That's because I haven't updated my starters or my injured players and all that stuff, so
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It should be interesting.
It'll start today.
Right. On to the studs of the week. My stud of the week is Chris Johnson. He had 130 yards and a touchdown. He also had 4 catches for 44 yards, and he helped lead his Titans to a 30-3 rout of the Carolina Panthers. I'm just glad he finally got on track. I've been waiting for this all season. He finally broke out and was looking like the regular Chris Johnson.
Yeah, Chris Johnson finally helping out my other fantasy team. Finally being that #1 guy. He got me 23 points this week for me, but you know all fantasy leagues are different. But definitely solid, looking good.
Oh yeah,
surprising everybody.
Looking amazing. I mean, he's doing everything he can for that team. Like, he is leading that team, I believe.
Well, as of this week, he is.
Yeah, definitely.
He's back.
Yeah,
Hasselbeck doesn't have to do everything.
that's true.
Alrighty, now on to our dud of the week. My dud of the week this week is New Orleans running back Darren Sproles. Sproles has been producing week in and week out. With the return of Mark Ingram, his stock dropped. The only legitimate threat he poses now is in PPR leagues because of his receiving threat. New Orleans got the win this week, but Sproles, he only got 2. Sproles only got 2 carries this week, so
I don't think you can get that down on him. He's still a good running back in wide receiver. He's like, he came there to be a special, like that.
It's just hard. It's just hard to thrive in a 3 running back group. I mean, Mark Ingram is definitely leading that.
Pierre Thomas.
Yeah, Mark Ingram and Pierre Thomas are leading that.
You are a New Orleans fan. Does he disappoint you as a New Orleans fan?
No.
No?
I'm letting him go this week. He's fine.
Giving them that one bad week, huh?
Yeah, you're just gonna
He's
say
still going to perform no matter what. Like, this is just one game.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Who's your definite starter, John?
My definite starter is Phil Dawson for this week because no other kicker in the league is as productive and gets more work in the NFL as Phil. He has kicked 3 50-plus field goals and has put up most of them to the Browns' points, if not all of them. I mean, the Browns had a 9 points, and you would think after looking at that score, like, okay, so they scored a touchdown, missed the point after, and then got a field goal, right? But no. Phil Dawson kicked all 3 field goals from 50 yards or more.
Well, they actually
for two of that game alone.
Yeah, that game, and the final score was 12-10, 13-12. Excuse me. So I mean, he got 4 field goals and then missed that that infamous last one. So
it was a lousy game.
It was disappointing for all of Northeastern Ohio, but
lousy.
I mean, everybody wants to blame it on the snap, and when I looked at it, it didn't look like that for me. So I think it hit his leg, but the holder still got it up. It was just Dawson rushing it. So I mean, we can go on and on about whose fault we think it is, but yeah, he definitely had a solid week. They shouldn't have to rely on their kicker to score 15 points in a game. So
Phil Dawson is amazing, but he's only one guy out of the entire team. They can't rely on him to score every point for the team, and that puts a lot of pressure on them. So even if he does miss one, okay, I'd miss one too if I was under that much pressure.
Yeah, and we don't notice all the misses, well, unless it's your fantasy kicker, but you don't notice the misses for the other teams. You just notice the ones that
he makes.
Yeah, you only notice the ones that are big field goals, and unfortunately, that one was in the national spotlight. So.
The Browns need to start scoring touchdowns. I mean, they go in the red zone and they're kicking field goals.
That's true. Well, with Hillis out, they're losing a lot, and so. All right, well. Speaking of Hillis being out, I'm going to move on to my injured player of the week. It's Kevin Cole. Kevin injured his foot and will be replaced by John Skelton and is looking to put some points up on the fantasy board. So if you have Kevin Cole, maybe you might want to replace him with Skelton.
Yeah, you can definitely pick up Skelton off most of the fantasy waiver wires. I know he's not. He just got picked up in my league, but
I think he just got picked up in our league too because nobody expected him to be doing good. Because I know I have Kevin Cole, and he got injured, and that really put me in a hole because my other quarterback, which is Vic, also got injured. with his ribs.
So you can definitely try and rely on Skelton, especially in weeks where their quarterback's on the bye this week. Say you have Ben Roethlisberger, Steelers are on the bye this week, so you can definitely look to Skelton to maybe fill in that role for you.
And he's on. The Cardinals are playing the 49ers, which should be a good test for this quarterback to step in the role and see if he can lead the team,
Definitely, because the 49ers don't have that great of a defense. They're an okay defense, but they're definitely, balanced. They're not, strong on the run or strong on the pass. So he's got a pretty even chance at it.
And they've been on a roll, so it really should be a good game.
Definitely.
Xavier, who's your sleeper pick of the week?
My sleeper pick of the week is Lauren Robinson. He's a rookie for the Dallas Cowboys, and he's a wide receiver. He had 3 receptions for 73 yards and scored 2 touchdowns. He improves each week as he's played. So I'm looking for his hype to increase and for more people just to start recognizing him more as a wide receiver.
Definitely.
Jump on that proverbial bandwagon.
Yeah.
I know my brother, he was all over him last week. I had never even heard of the guy until last week. My brother was all over him and got a good bit of production out of him. And if Romo's confident in him, you can definitely look for him to get more points.
I mean, he's in the 3rd slot as a wide receiver. He's a good option off of Des Bryant and Miles Austin, Patrick Creighton, all of the Dallas wide receivers. He's just a good fit for that team to throw the ball to.
I think you're right, and I definitely think his hype will increase once he gets up there and starts actually putting points up, because he started low and kind of gradually got better as the games progressed, and now I think he's going to have this explosion week, or he might come out of nowhere. Like you said, you never heard of him. I never heard of him.
Yeah, he's definitely a lesser known person.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for Don't Get Down On. My Don't Get Down On pick of this week is New York Giants running back Brandon Jacobs. With Ahmad Bradshaw still questionable and looking not to play in this game, look for Jacobs to get the most carries, especially near the goal line. I mean, touchdowns are a big thing for him. He's definitely gotten a lot of the goal line carries this year, and now with Ahmad Bradshaw being out, he's definitely going to start producing. Last week it wasn't impressive, but I think he'll start producing this week.
Of course, even though you say last week was impressive, everyone has a bad week. It happens. I mean, you just got to look at it, look at who they were playing, look at how it went, and then get over it. That's all you got to do. I mean,
he's a beast.
He's good.
I want him to do good.
I
just remember back to when they won the championship. I wanted him as my running back.
Yeah, Brendan, it's hard to figure out Jacobs, but I think now that committee's not there anymore with Bradshaw being out, I think you can definitely see him doing well. It's definitely been a committee all year, him getting the goal line carries, but still, we can look for Jacobs to have a good week this week.
Okay, well, now we're going to go on to the pick of the week. My pick of the week is definitely Chris Johnson. He had a very successful game last week, but his stats next week are expected to be high. Next week, as he proves to be a reliable receiver for any fantasy team, because he had 27 carries, 130 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, and 44 passing yards. What do you guys think about that? I mean, we talked about him being your stud of the week, so I mean, definitely
he should keep performing. I think he found his role.
He's definitely found his role. All right, my pick of the week, my wide receiver pick of the week would have to be Oakland Raiders' Denarius Moore. After a great showing last week, against the Chargers, Moore and Carson Palmer are developing a great chemistry. Look for more of that this week. I mean, Moore definitely is showing good young talent. I mean, as a rookie, I wouldn't ever expect anyone to do this well.
Oakland has a lot of options.
Oh yeah, they definitely have options.
A lot of options.
Yeah, and ESPN's talking about Palmer being the saving grace for teams who, again, need that bye week quarterback, but their quarterback's injured. So definitely look for Oakland's passing game to definitely pick it up because of McFadden and Bush not being the greatest backup. Look for, since McFadden's out, look for that passing to do.
Definitely hoping for Oakland to have a good week because, they've had some struggles in this season. They've had their struggles, their quarterbacks had some struggles, their wide receivers especially. Just a lot of their individual positions had some struggles for their season. So, looking for them to kind of pick it up a little bit.
Definitely, and that division isn't exactly the stellar division of the league. Now everybody's talking about them being the NFC West of last year. The AFC West was still that bad last year.
Yeah.
It's just nobody noticed it because of the 7-9 team being the Seahawks getting into the playoffs last year. So I mean, that division's bad, but they're on top of the division at 5-4. Everyone else is 4-5. So we can definitely look for them trying to, take that leadership role in the division.
On to my pick of the week. My pick of the week is Wes Welker. He plays for the New England Patriots, and he's Tom Brady's #1 wide receiver to go to. They're playing the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm expecting for him to have another big game. He always produces.
The Chiefs, after last week, won't even know what a pass is because Tebow only attempted 8 of them.
Yeah.
55 rushing attempts later, they don't know what to expect out of the Patriots. I mean, obviously with Brady, he's going to be doing the majority of the offense. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis is good, but definitely look for Welker to get back up on that horse. I know he struggled lately, but that's because everybody's throwing their top cornerback on him. So
yeah, so I mean, let's look for him to have a good week, get it done, and bring it in for their team. So
for the win.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for tuning in for In the Huddle. I'm your host Xavier, and for Ben and John, we'll catch you next week. Hut hut!